So it's Tuesday afternoon and I'm super excited because I just got home to a bunch of packages on the porch, and I got them all out here to the shop, opened them up and got them laid out here on the table, and I got everything I need to finish the compound turbo setup, all of the aluminum, and I got that 90 that I've been waiting on to mount the primary turbo, and I also got the shocks for the front. So it's going to be a busy night. I bet you can guess what time it is. If you guessed paper template time, you would be correct. So I added even more lines, up to 5, and those were going to be the reference points for the measurement between here and here. And from there, I just kind of set it at a position I liked, marked where they landed, and then traced out the notch I made there, and then continued the notch all the way down to the corners. And now we can cut it out and we will have a perfect template to adapt this to that. Well, I made a mistake with my initial thought process, and when I decided to cut this piece, since I'm standing it off, I should have cut it a little bit wider, as in I should have left more material here and here, because I've created a taper, and as it tapers down it gets narrower, and I have a good feeling it's going to be a good bit narrower than we need. So it's not a big deal. All I have to do is take my templates and just put a little bit of a bend in them like that, and it'll work out. It's just a little mistake I made that was worth mentioning. Hopefully it'll save somebody else some trouble down the line. And yeah, now I've got both my templates. I'm gonna go ahead and get them cut out of that piece of stainless. I got my sides marked, which goes where, because they are directional, and what I'm going to do now is tack each piece in and then see exactly how far out we're going to have to bend these flat pieces to line up with the flange there properly. So let's get the TIG welder going. Hey everybody, it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm not sure where the camera died at last night, but this is basically where I called it quits for the evening. I got every flange attached, and I actually even test fit it, and I'm really have our assembly partially done like this. It gets a lot easier to take a paper template. I just basically mash it up against the area I need and trace out the shape I need, and then just cut this out, and it should fit pretty well with minor adjustments. Well, it looks like we cut a little bit too much off on this corner, so I'm gonna go ahead and redo it. I may actually just trace this template and add that corner in and trim off as needed. So I'm a lot happier with the second attempt, so we're gonna go ahead with this one, and then we'll make one for the other side real quick, and we'll be done with the paper templates. As luck would have it, the first template I did for the other side actually fits pretty close. It's just missing a little on that corner, so we'll compensate for that, but I think we'll go with this one as well. So this is what we're working with now. We got to make this have this radius and also stay flat on this side. So it's gonna be interesting. We'll get it figured out though. Little finger break in here, and I'm just bending a little teeny bit at a time, and this is kind of where we're at with the inner piece. I am noticing some curvature happening on the side that's supposed to be flat, but I think we can straighten that out pretty easily in the vise. So I'm gonna keep putting a little bit more bend into this and see what happens. It only took a couple of light bends, and then like I said, I threw it in the vise, straightened it out, and it fit pretty much perfect. I threw it on the belt sander to bevel a couple of, or just one edge, and tack welded it in place. So I'm gonna do the other side now, and then we'll finish welding this thing. Okay, we got it into one piece here. Got that last piece fitted up, and we're ready to weld. It's all tack welded up, and the fitment inside is really nice as well. So it should flow good. So let's throw some beads down. Got her all welded up there. Came out pretty nice. The flange did warp a little bit, so I had to throw it on the belt sander, but it's nice and flat now. So I've pulled the smaller turbo off of the Cummins in order to attach the flange, so I can weld this guy and not, well, get minimal warpage, hopefully. Just gotta go slow. So let's get started on that. Well, I got the turbos mounted back onto the Cummins, and ended up getting a little sidetracked after that. I was supposed to finalize the wastegate placement, but I didn't do anything as far as that goes. I actually started working on the aluminum here to see if it was gonna be much trouble to make it fit. And so far it's looking okay. I think we're gonna have a couple of issues making a 90 come down to this, but I don't think it's anything we can't handle. So it's already quitting time for tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and call it, so we'll get back on this tomorrow. I'll see you then. Well, of course I wasn't finished. I decided to tack the V-band flange onto the turbo, just to help me mock up a little easier. And this is our dilemma for tonight's consideration. We can't twist this down anymore because it's getting awful close to the frame, and I don't even know how much the engine is gonna twist. So we don't want to mount that too close. And if we start twisting the turbo upwards, it starts flipping this 90 out. So we've got a little bit of thinking to do, but hopefully it doesn't keep us up all night. So today is Wednesday, and I thought a lot about what I was going to do last night for the cold side right here that we're working on, and I decided I'm going to cut it right down the middle and throw a 45 in there to land it where it needs to go. And what I'm presently working on is getting this 90 welded onto the V-band outlet flange for this turbo. So I had to grab another torch because the one that I have on my welder is not really set up to run aluminum. It's a lot more heat, so let's get this thing welded. So I got it welded together here at the outlet of the turbo, and unfortunately it ended up pulling the 90 back this way, and so it tilted down a little bit. It was never gonna line up with this anyways, but now, as you can see, they're at different angles, and I could probably make up for that when I put the 45 in here, but it's really kind of bothering me, so I think I'm probably gonna just cut that and re-weld it. Well, it's never very a smooth process when you don't have like a level surface for this to rest on when you're running it through the bandsaw. Cut was a little crooked. Gonna throw them on the belt sander and hopefully get it straighter. All right, I got it finished welded. I'm a lot happier this time. Made a much cleaner weld. It wasn't bad last time, but it wasn't this nice. So now we're gonna throw it back on and hopefully it didn't warp this time. It's a ton better. It's still not 100% perfect. I think there's a teeny bit bigger gap down here than there is up there, but you can see it's very, very close now. So I think the next step is gonna be, man, I really wish I could make this work. The problem is that, you know, we have no clearance from the frame rail right there, and that's not gonna work because certainly the drivetrain is going to, you know, flex back and forth, and that'll definitely hit the frame rail. So something must be done. I've thought about it a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this weld out and re-weld this together, because all I need is a 1/4 inch here, and that'll be exactly a 1/4 inch. And then I'm just gonna like notch the frame a little bit because the frame is ridiculously thick all through here. It's thicker than any regular dually frame is. I mean, taller anyways, by at least, you know, I wanna say 2 inches. So first cut went a lot better than expected. It's all welded back together and the fit is great. Gonna throw a bunch of tack welds on that, and I might even weld it partially while it's all together, just because I'm real worried that it's gonna warp, because aluminum always warps. So let's get some tacks thrown on there and see what happens. I've got 3 little welds on there now, so I'm gonna go ahead and cover as much of this area as I can before taking it off to finish weld it. And I might even just pull off the whole assembly to make sure it doesn't warp. I went ahead and pulled the compressor housing off the smaller turbo off with this guy so I could finish welding the V-band flange onto the compressor housing and finish welding this. And then it's test fit time. Well, it's all done. Cross your fingers for me. Let's hope it fits. Here we go. Most excellent. It fits perfectly, just like it did when we took it off. So it didn't work. All right. I decided to rearrange the wastegate and turn it around. It'll just equal out to a lot shorter length of tube, less heat. And this is the plan. It's just gonna. I accidentally started without you guys, but I haven't made a whole lot of progress. It's pretty slow going. Basically, what I'm doing is contouring this 90 that's going to merge into, let me see if I can get a better angle here. It's going to merge into the bigger 90 like this. And so basically I'm just grinding a little bit way at a time, cutting some if I can, and then coming back, checking the fit, and just gonna be doing this for a while. So I got the 90 as close as I needed to get it to be happy, and went ahead and welded it on. So this is what we're looking like. And basically after that, all I did was take a Sharpie and trace out where it lands on the larger tube here. You might be able to see it. There we go. And now I just got to get a hole saw and drill that hole out, and then weld it all together, and we'll be largely done with this side of the project. So we're moving right along. Here's our nice little trace out of the hole we need, and I believe it's going to be an 1.5-inch hole saw. I should have some left over from old projects, so let's go find out. I got my center marked out, and we're just going to shoot a 1 3/4 hole saw through it. All right, got the hole knocked out. Now we just got to throw it all back together and throw some tack welds on it. And we're not going to take the pieces off individually again after that. We'll just take it off at the exhaust manifold from the Cummins and then set it on the table and weld it. And the reason for that is because it's super critical that everything is completely bolted down in place, so that if it warps, it will be so minimal that it'll still fit together. We got everything back in position, and we're gonna throw down some tack welds now and hope that we do not get a bunch of warpage. Here we go. All right, we got this beautiful mess on the workbench. Now we can get it all welded up. I was only able to get 3 tacks on there, but I think it's solid. Here it is, all finished. It's a pretty smooth job considering you know, how many obstacles there were to get around, but having it on the workbench really helps. We're not gonna really know how much it warped until we dismantle it, but I'm not even gonna do that until it's 100% cool. So I'll probably just throw it back on the motor right now, actually. And there we have it. Pretty much complete compound turbo system. All we have left to do now is route a discharge pipe down and all the way forward to the intercooler, and make a pretty huge filter housing for this, and finish the stack and make a brace that bolts on right here and attaches to probably a couple of these up here just for extra support. And I got plumbing coming for these guys, so should be started before we know it, and I'm super excited for that, so I can't wait. And I think I'm gonna call it a night for tonight, get an early start tomorrow on the front suspension, taking it back apart, painting everything, and then finally assembling it and get the front back on the ground. Still no word on all the foiling stuff that I've ordered. It's been I don't know, probably 4 weeks, maybe 3, but I'm a little bit disappointed in their shipping speed, so maybe I'll give them a call tomorrow. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Good night.